Hi everybody, welcome back for another episode of the Train Shop Weekly, Volume 1, Number 3. I'm Bill Henning, this is Harry Henning III, my brother, and Walt Herbine.
How you doing, guys? Ladies?
And this is the Train Shop, our shop, Henning's Trains of Lansdale, Pennsylvania. Once again, this is our short weekly show to basically talk about trains and anything that's new that came in the past week. If you have any thoughts or ideas, questions that we can talk about, please put them in the comments below there. And please consider hitting subscribe and, of course, hit like if you can. We'd appreciate that.
Cover some old things too.
Yeah, well, we plan to cover a little bit of everything, you know. Try to do a variety of something different every week. Tonight, actually, we're going to have our first official guest, Harry Henning, our father.
Our father.
He'll be here talking about his model engineering works. He makes the replacement wheels for a lot of the pre-war stuff. So I think that should be interesting. We'll run him through the ringer tonight. Other than that, I guess let's get started. What do we have that's new this week? I know there wasn't a whole lot that came in new. There really wasn't any new HO Engage stuff this week. I know there's some new stuff coming out in the next couple of weeks, but pretty quiet this week. But
we're going to do this, some of you are doing there's a French, Lionel did the friendship train. This is in the book, part of the rest of it. Yeah, there was 6 box cars that came out. These are the passenger cars. So actually, they're actually pretty well detailed. I mean, they actually got sinks and toilets in them. I was kind of shocked. I mean, they had people in them, really sharp detail. It was a train that back in after World War II, it ran across the country picking up different cars from different states with food in them for Europe after
the war.
After World War II, and they called it the friendship train. So these are the passenger cars that go with the friendship train, and they are actually pretty sharp looking cars. I'll give some of the, what do you call it? It's got the diaphragms. It has opening doors. And I think some of the I think the coolest thing is that they actually have lavatories in them. Actually, if you can, oops, oh.
That's it. Break
it, yeah. Zoom in there in the window, you can see actually the toilet. Evidently, the last person must have been a guy because he
left the toilet
to seat up and all. But I mean, it's got some peoples in it. Then you have the observation car, and looks like it's even got a porter inside there. Looks like serving drinks or food or whatever. And this has a couple, has a bathroom in it too, and some sinks on the wall. But they are really sharp. So I kind of can't wait to see what they look like lit up a little bit.
What do we got next? We have some box cars.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, we talked about the
60-foot auto cars last week. We missed 2 that we got in last week. For all you Ford guys, we got the Ford.
I like the Ford.
Ford and the old Ford versus Chevy, and we got the Chevy box car.
You know, I was disappointed. There's no Mopar, Dodge, Chrysler.
No Dodge.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. I mean, and they've done Mopar trains in the past, but
I know. But this is some of them.
They are nice looking cars.
Yeah, they are. They are really nice box cars. But
that's well, I know there was you were pretty excited about some news this past week.
Yeah, I was totally excited. I kind of knew something was coming down the pike, but I'm sure everybody heard that Atlas bought some of MTH molds, and they're going to still, I guess they have the option of doing the Proto 3, so that'll still kind of stay alive because I'm definitely more of an MTH person.
I'm curious how that's going to go because Atlas using the Lionel, the TMCC.
So, honestly, I hope they give you a choice when you buy an engine to either have TMCC or Proto, which would be nice.
But if you look at it, if you pre-order it, and like
Exactly.
Just saying, like Lionel, they're not building anything unless they're paid for. That gives you an option of, what do you call?
But it would also let them find out what's selling more for them, Proto 3 or TMCC.
Would it be cost effective for them if they were to like?
Well, supposedly they I guess kind of what it would read like, they're going right in after MTH, the same manufacturer over in China.
Aren't they moving their?
I think they're moving. They said, I believe it said in the article, that they're moving their Atlas prot line to
where MTH was being done.
I really, I wish Atlas the best of luck. They've always put a really nice product out in the O gauge. It's a shame they laxed a little bit. I really hope you guys of Atlas, you're out there watching. I really hope you bring back the C630s and the C24. Yeah, 424s. I mean, I really like. You're like really the only ones that had really scale.
I have several of their the Amtrak California Zephyr cars. There's 21-inch cars. Those things are awesome looking.
Yeah, I probably have.
They'll probably be showing everybody my Amtrak set in a couple weeks.
I got quite a few of Atlas. I probably have
quite a few pieces myself. The only thing that really concerns me is they need to step up their game as far as getting product out the door. They are a little slow on that.
It sounds like.
Hopefully this gives them a new energized push.
Yeah, because, I mean, just saying at York, you kind of see them dwindle down, and now it seems like they have a really good opportunity to grow their company in the 3-rail market, because they've always put out nice O-scale equipment.
H.O.N. gauge has been their bread and butter.
Yes.
So.
But I mean, you guys always put out nice cars. I mean, nice engines. I have, I think, 5 or 6 GP35s. Reading, of course.
Oh yeah. Well, we can go on that, but.
Okay, let's get to Harry's been excited to look at his Freedom Train cars.
Let's get these and put them aside.
We've kept them hidden from him for the last couple of weeks.
I haven't even got to look at them yet. My train will be going from 16 cars long to 20 cars long.
Here we go.
You got to change hats for this segment.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Got to put the Freedom Train hat on.
Yeah.
Along with the Freedom Train shirt.
There's that one box.
Oh, yeah.
There you got the official knife opener.
Yep.
And then we have our official Freedom Train catalog from 1976.
Here, don't cut yourself.
I don't know if I can handle this.
It's Christmas in March.
It's Christmas for Harry today.
Yes, it is. I've been waiting a long time for these. These haven't been in the book for quite a while.
It finally came in, and I told him he wasn't allowed to open it until we filmed him.
I didn't even know where they had them in the building. They hid them on me.
They're packed very well.
Yeah, need some help?
No, right? They're coming out.
Upside down there.
That's okay. They'll come out right side up.
Which one's this? Car number 202. That was the pie car.
Yeah, just hold on. Katie Coupler pockets. Take this box and just slide it in like that so we can slide those back in later.
American Freedom Combo car number 202. That was the pie car. Are you looking for the knife?
They hit it on me again.
I'll open them up first. Well, open these up first, and then you can open that one.
All right.
Start with this one. This is the pie car.
All right.
Open them in order.
Open them in order.
Yep. That was originally Reading car number 592. The pie car was built by the Bethlehem Shipping in Wilmington, Delaware in 1927. During its time on the American Freedom Train, it was simply known as the pie car. A bit of lingo adopted from the world of the circus trains.
Nice looking car.
But it had a whole, almost like a diner counter in it. Go in and
That was
Set
probably,
that on the floor there
that's
now.
probably one of the, what do you call
guess it's where you went to have pie. And this one's 203.
Yep.
Oh, this is the good car. This is the bar car.
Did you have experience in the bar car as a young gentleman, really?
No. Say 1976, I was 8 years old.
Back then, you could get away with sipping a beer or two.
Originally Reading commuter car number 1327, the bar car was likely built by the Standard Steel Company in 1922. While on the American Freedom Train, it was known as the bar car and contained swiveling chairs, a piano, and, as you guessed, a very prominent bar. The car was externally distinguished from its near clone to the number 204 by its large roof vents. This one doesn't exactly have large roof vents.
Oh,
I don't see a bar in here though.
yeah, not like the Freedom.
All I see is chairs. I don't see swiveling sheets. I don't see a bar. What number you got there? You skipped to the observation
No,
car.
I'm just trying to get them both out.
Observation car number 205. 205, that's the press car. Look at the back of that, that's really cool. Originally Reading commuter car number 1329, the press car was likely built by the Standard Steel Company in 1922. While on the American Freedom Train, it was mostly referred to as the press car and had all the facilities journalists would need to report their stories on the American Freedom Train. It had desks, typewriters, and even telephones.
Typewriter. Anybody know what a typewriter is?
And we got number 204, that's the office car. Originally Reading number 1332, the office
Boy, they
car
look delicate.
was yet another car that came from the American Freedom Train from the Spring-Made line,
Very, very delicate.
where it carried the nickname Stimulator, commonly known as the parlor car, the Ethan Allen car for its furnishing, or the office car, once some of the Foundation executives began to use it as such. That observation car looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't see any offices in there.
We know this car will be traded out with the K-line observation I've been running right now.
You should have brought that so we can compare it.
Yeah, well, I didn't know what I was getting.
I don't know. That's kind of a little depressing. You got those.
They're still nice looking cars.
I guess we'll have to put them on the track and try them out.
Yep.
Oh, you brought an engine to pull, plus we have another engine.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. You got these
Right.
cars, and they put the people in them, and well, much more detailed than these cars.
Yeah.
And look at the height difference.
But the other question is, what factory did they come out of? Yeah, look at that. Nice scale coupler on the back. Yep.
Wow.
Alright, let's pull out.
Well, you don't have the whole Freedom Train here, but you did at least bring your engine to pull them, right?
Oh, absolutely. We've got the engine, tender, and the auxiliary tender, which is not one of Lionel's, it's one we did the prototyping. We did here. That was one of our projects.
Should we go try it out real quick?
Yeah, we can put her out on the rail and
Alright, here. Alright, let's take a look. Here's Harry's favorite engine pulling some new cars.
Tower, the train is rolling. Over. Roger that. Have a good run. Dispatcher here. All clear inbound. Over. Yes, sir. Clear boards. Out.
towards the tail end of the train.
Are we still clear all the way? Over.
All right, we're going to grab the other American Freedom train, the GS4. Give that a quick lap around the layout.
There you go, guys. See a booty?
Freedom Train 4449 to the dispatcher. Ready to roll. Can I pull? Over. You're clear to proceed east. Out. Freedom Train 4449 to the dispatcher. Are we clear through the junction? Over. Clear through my limits. Out. Tower, we're at restricted speed. Out. American Freedom Train 4449 to the dispatcher. We just passed the approach signal. We'll be in on time. Over. Clear in on signal indication. Out.
It's a little smoky in here, though, now.
I don't know. I have no clue.
All right, now that we're done with the Freedom trains and we got to show both versions, the T1 and the GS4, now it's time to bring and introduce Henning Jr., my father, in the MEW parts, which we'll grab a side of that, Walt. Let's pull that around and Dad, come on over here and come around this side. Yeah, we'll put you right up front. Let you explain MEW.
Our first
For our guys, I'll sit over here.
our first official guest.
Yep, first official guest.
Congratulations.
Our father.
The man, the legend.
Yeah, I'll sit behind my own counter. There you go. Actually, usually not behind this counter. You're usually behind your parts counter back there.
Well, to start with, on the model engineering works, model engineering was actually created in 1941, and it involves Dorfman parts, Ives parts, American Flyer, Lionel. At one point, there were 865 different parts cataloged and pictured. It was an awesome catalog. I've got copies from probably about every 5 years on up to 1991, 1992. That was Dick Wheeler started MEW in 1941. Then in 1981, he had sold out to John Myers and Bill Doomey. And the next year, Bill Doomey bought John Myers out. So he owned it all by himself. At one point, there were 5 employees, including the husband and wife owners, that were manufacturing the parts, the MEW parts line. But MEW, as such, didn't manufacture all the parts themselves. They were farmed out to little businesses. Some people did the castings, other little companies did the blackening. Dick Wheeler and his wife, they did the painting. A lot of the parts, George T. Bolt up in New York made different parts. There were parts made out in Wisconsin. All these things flowed together to make the MEW catalog. It's been around for years and years and years. Back in the 60s, I used to buy off Model Engineering Works when I worked with my dad, the original founder of Henning's. As far as we are today, we bought the company in 2017. And
that's when we drove down to pick it up.
There was something like $75,000 retail of inventory that Barry Higginbottom, the last owner, had in stock. We took all the inventory, negotiated a price, hauled it home, and started taking pictures and pricing things, but we never did get a catalog like Model Engineering Works had. It was just too large an undertaking for a single person. I'm up in age. I'm a little slow.
You're not that slow. You're like the Energizer Bunny if you ask me.
Yeah.
Right now,
More energy than me.
right now we have molds to make the Lionel standard gauge steam engine wheels, the electric wheels, both their early versions and the late versions, the O gauge wheels, both disc and spoke. We have the leading truck wheels, American Flyer standard gauge and O gauge wheels. We even have some of the Dorfin freight car truck wheels. The Ives standard gauge wheels we've got some O gauge wind-up Ives wheels. Give you a little idea how it starts. We have a caster who's currently up in Scranton, and Bill's. That's the way we got that first lot of wheels.
So they come from the motor like this, all rough.
Like that, all roughed out.
And then you guys downstairs here,
Yeah.
basically Dad and a couple of guys, then they'll clean them all up,
We'll
get
clean
all
'em
the
up.
flashing off.
And then we drill a pilot hole. This has to be done by hand. And then a reamer, which reams it out to 179 thousandths for the axle size. Lionel's axles, whether they're standard gauge or O gauge, are all 180 thousandths axles. So you got 1/1000th to play with. So it makes putting the axles on fairly easy and straight. You're not going into an undersized hole.
So these guys, so you got your rough cast and you're cleaning it up. Then you got a rim.
The rims are stamped out. That's in 2 pieces. One stamps the blank out and the next one folds it. Then after we get these rims all stamped out, they go to the nickel platers. The nickel platers plate them. That takes about a week. We'll get them back. In the meantime, we have hand painted most of these wheels. They're put in an oven. They're baked for 15-20 minutes at 300 to 325 degrees. They are a baked on finish, very hard paint.
Forgot another flashing remover is this one here too.
The big wheels in standard gauge, there's an electric wheel that's been trimmed up, reamed, painted, and the nickel rim is pressed on. That's quite a few operations to make these things ready to package and put out to you guys. The steam engine wheels, when these wheels come through, they have to have the flash cleaned. So we have this tool here. This will fit both the electrics and the steam engine. These are cut back here for the counterweights. They press in, go into a foot press. It'll pop down, it'll knock out any flash within the spokes. Then this unit is reamed and drilled, or drilled and reamed. Then it goes to paint. And for these, we have a self-adhesive little glue ring that sits on top of the center because we don't want that painted. And then this outside here, we use a 1/2 inch wide rubber band that hides all this area here on the flange so there's no paint on it. So after this is baked, then it comes back, we take the rubber bands off, we take the center off, polish it up, take a big old brass brush and we hand polish this, and then it goes over to put the rims on. The rim, this wheel will sit in a press, it's self-aligned, and then it's a foot press. You operate it with your foot, it just comes down, puts that ring on there very tight, right on up against the flange.
So we end up with that.
That's what we end up with.
And then the steam ones,
The steam engines have a counterweight.
so it's, fortunately with these MEW, it keeps these old buggers running.
them going.
Keeps them going, because these wheels are known for falling apart. Is that zinc
Yeah.
pest, a lot of them, or they just expand and just...
They expand. What happened when they originally molded the wheels, they used more zinc. The zinc makes the die-cast metal, the metal itself, it's an alloy of zinc, but it makes it flow and you get a beautiful looking part. But the thing is, if it's stored in cold or heat, the wheel itself will grow and the
Get a lot of
zinc leaves,
expansion and contraction.
leaves holes in the metal. We run on average of about 200 wheels about every 10 days. We go through about 600 wheels we package up a month. Times 12 months, that's a lot of wheels.
A lot of wheels.
Right now,
But that covering all different scales?
all different wheels, yeah. Right now, for instance, on our Lionel standard gauge steam engine wheels, there's basically two different wheels, a 436 hole tap and a 832. And we put an order in for 5,000 wheels in January. We just got it on a schedule last week for next week. So we should start getting wheels. It used to be, our old caster was down in Philadelphia. It was run by a 78 and an 82-year-old pair of brothers. They did fantastic work for me. They knew what they were doing. We got basically clean castings, but they lost their place in a tax sale. It was disheartening. I'm just glad we got our molds and tooling back. The new place up in Scranton is a younger owner, and I don't think he quite knows how to put all these pieces together to get the right things. I know, for instance, on this disc wheel, instead of all this flash Bill was showing you, all they had to do was put a couple thousand spacer in the mold pocket, and that would have dumped off the flash. They've since learned.
Yeah, you get a new outfit, and they got to learn all the tricks yet.
They've since learned that the last set of wheels we got were just perfect.
That's good.
Some of the other stuff we make, like these rims here, we run 2,500, 3,000 at a crack. This little rim here fits the Lionel disc wheels, the Lionel spoked wheels for O gauge. It also fits American Flyer. These we have currently 45,000 rims nickel plated and ready to go. So
what about these rims? These actually, they wrap all the way around the flange.
This rim here, this is for an American Flyer O-gauge electric wheel, and they also use it on this steam engine wheel. It's what they call a wraparound rim. We had a machine shop punching out these rims, and unfortunately the material they used was too thick and it broke our tool. It took about 4 months to get the tool repaired and case hardened, and that company went out of business. I got a hold of Joe Mania at J&M Trains, and Joe, I gave him the tooling to run for us. And this is a 2-punch setup. They have to knock out the donuts here first, and then it goes back in, and it's another tool set that does the forming. As of last week, Joe had all the first stage done for 1,200 rims, and he expected sometime this week to be finished, bring the rims up to us. They have to go out and get plated, and then we can assemble. We have the wheel castings, and Joe's been trying to do this since January. He's there again, a one-man operation, and takes a lot of time to set this stuff up and run it.
Yeah, I mean, as simple as a wheel is, there still seems to be a lot of steps
There's
to
a
it.
lot of operations to it.
And I guess some of the challenge that you're facing is, I mean, you're pretty set and determined to make sure to keep these made in the U.S. made.
Yep.
You know, it's so easy to go to China or somewhere else and get something made, but I mean, I applaud that. You know, that was always
There's a pride there.
a little pride and effort to make sure they continue being U.S. made. So
Not only model engineering, but we make a little over 100 different parts that we've made already. From ZW transformer handles to coal bins for the coal ramp to all this pre-war stuff. One of the things we're constantly making are different gears. These are the little humpback motor gears. You would know them as a fiber gear. And a red fiber gear, the teeth get shot on it when the wheels go. This is an inexpensive and a great lasting gear. It'll never wear out. Well, in American Flyer, we've made up the bull gear to fit onto the wheels.
A lot of them get stripped.
And then there was another gear.
there's a big gear. You lost it.
We lost it. Anyway, some of the idler gears for the American Flyer O-gauge we've just made. The Lionel big gear for their driver we are currently having made now. We've got 1,000 gears coming, being made up. So other than using the old original ones, there were no replacements. The lead truck wheels, like I say, Flyers, Ives, and Lionel, standard gauge and O gauge, we make most of the wheels. I don't have them all shown here. My brother is starting to make bearings for the drive axles for the supermotor. We're turning out bearings for the Lionel Build-A-Locomotive, nickel axles. It just goes on and on.
I mean, it's great that you have, somebody like you able to make these parts, make these things continue. I know you were commenting the other day about the future of some of the parts, running out of parts, or not being able to make some parts that are currently available.
That's correct. We have, Joe Mania has all the tooling except the wheel molds.
From the Model Engineering
From
Works?
Model Engineering Works. Joe came down, he got the punch presses and all the tooling. But when we got all these molds and tools, there is really, it may take 4, 5, 6 items to make one part. And it's experimenting, trying to find all these parts to make the one part to start with. And then you have to wait and see, is there a demand for this? Lionel, when they produced trains back in the 20s, 30s, they always had a parts list, part numbers, this fit this fit that. American Flyer, Dorfin, and Ives didn't do that. There are no price lists. So we go out.
You mean breakdown part list?
Yeah, breakdown parts. So we'll go out and we'll buy up individual locomotives, anything, I don't care if it's junker, just to find out where these parts go that we make, what engines they fit. Yeah.
That's been the trial and error for us.
We've taken pictures of everything that we have in stock. We identified it with our own series of part numbers and the pricing and how many we have in stock, and we try religiously to keep that accurate. If you go to our website, Hennings's Trains, you scroll down to MEW Parts, click on that, then it'll come up with Ives, American Flyer, Lionel, Dorfin, and you can look and see. Maybe you can find something you can use.
Well, that's great. That's great. I mean, I admire that a lot of these parts are still being made, still being available, because, you know, who knows how long these things will be available. But thanks for coming on and explaining a little bit about the Model Engineering Works.
Sure.
I know it's a real passion of yours, and you spend a lot of time downstairs working on these wheels and stuff. So with that, I thank you.
I thank you guys. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. All right, I think that was interesting. I you know, having Dad as our first official guest. So what were we going to talk about next real quick? We're running out of time.
The bridge from Roadside America.
Roadside America. Let me go dig that out real quick.
Anyway, a lot of you guys know Roadside America was kind of auctioned off this past winter. They auctioned off each section of the layout, building by building, piece by piece. We had put bids in for quite a few items, but we only wound up with one item out of the Roadside America, and that was the covered bridge.
That was our big purchase.
That was our big purchase, and it wasn't cheap. I gotta say that.
There was a couple other things that we wanted. It also has the approach ramps for either side.
There we go.
But yeah, I think that's a neat
Okay.
piece.
The inside is awesome.
Actually, I should have brought I got a covered bridge book.
The size of this, we could run a train through that sucker.
Yeah, just about fits.
The standard gauge would fit, but O gauge would fit, no problem.
Yeah, you gotta understand, covered bridges are very prominent around southeastern Pennsylvania.
We still have quite a few.
Quite a few of them. There's ones around PA locally here that is used every
One right
day.
down the road from my house.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably in this area within 20 minutes you could probably hit about 4 or 5 of them.
Easy.
Easy.
I mean, go to,
Bucks County's got
go to
2.
Sellersville, there's one right there in Percy.
Yeah, you got Percy.
It's actually 2 of them.
You got,
It's a shame what happened to Roadside America. You know.
Yeah.
I remember going there when I was a kid, a couple times.
times have changed.
Times have changed.
But, yeah.
What is what do you call?
A lot of guys don't realize when these stuff was built, they had standard gauge on their first layout, and they built big. They built it to fit with the standard gauge trains.
Yeah, it was a one of a kind layout. I mean, what the next
Yeah.
closest thing to it is the Choo Choo Barn out there by Strasburg.
I like that place. That place is pretty cool.
But it was kind of cool. I mean, and to some people it might never got to Roadside. It was a very somewhat primitive, I guess, in today's standard of modeling, but it had a lot of animation.
Tom did a lot with that layout.
You know, people moving. They had a big thing in Amish is raising a barn. I mean, just a lot of animation that you don't really see today.
Now Tom's kids are running that place, the Choo Choo Barn. They've been taking
cool.
care of things.
So yeah, we'll find we look to find a place in the future somewhere in the store or something to keep this on display.
Yeah, I don't know if that case might not be tall enough. I brought here.
That's all right. The what else do we got? Oh, I wanted to talk a couple weeks ago. We were talking about the boxcars. I was showing that Area 51, the smoking mechanical reefer. I had talked about putting green LED lights in it, so actually I did. I just wanted to show you guys. I didn't show you guys yet, so let me grab that.
And too, the other thing, I wouldn't mind seeing what them friendship cars look like all lit up.
Yeah, so this is my Area 51 boxcar we were talking about the other week, and I had mentioned that would be cool to put a green LED in it. So guess what I did? I put some green LEDs in it. So actually, I put one in here. I also put one in the generator area, so that kind of glows a little bit. And once it starts smoking,
That's awesome.
this has a cool effect to it. I think the green.
Really
So once it starts smoking with the green glow, yeah, it makes a nice effect. I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, you can see the LED I stuck in there. Now it's kind of hard to see with all the smoke. I think it adds a little bit to this car.
Awesome looking car.
You see the generator car. Put a light in there too, so that kind of lights the generator area up a little bit.
And we're looking at the detail in the friendship cars. It's a little easier to look at them with the lights off, and you actually see the detail inside the cars.
I mean, it's got a porter, got the people, I guess, getting served food in there. It's got some private rooms in there with people in them. They each got little toilets and what do you call sinks. They got bathrooms and very well detailed on these. But then you got the other ones that aren't so detailed. Oh well, you win some, you lose some, I guess.
Yeah, so I think definitely makes a difference with the green light.
Oh yeah, it kind of made it cool. Did you get the alien in there yet?
No, I have to get a little alien. I
Michael
don't know.
told me he needs to go to Scenic Express and get one of their little miniature aliens to put in there coming out the door.
I do want to weather it though. Would like to weather it some. Real quick before we finish up here, our Q&A, question and answers. We didn't have a whole lot of questions. We had a couple. Harry, how about a tour of your club North Penn O-Gauge model railroad? I think a lot of viewers would be interested. Well, I think we'll get there, but
We'll get there. Right at the time, we're kind of under construction.
the place is kind of a mess right now.
Yeah, it's under construction.
We're doing a lot of work underneath there.
Upgrades.
Doing some upgrades in some places. So, what
And
we
trying
did,
to fit in a lot of new equipment.
yeah. So hopefully, maybe by the end of summer we'll have something going on or something. Maybe.
But we'll definitely, as soon as we kind of get it cleaned up, we'll get some good video footage. Maybe I ought to show a couple of video clips. Sean Conaway, he done some nice videos.
Yeah,
He did a really good video
So
of
maybe we'll have
actually
to,
touring the basement.
Maybe we'll bring him as a guest one night and talk about his stuff and show some of his video clips. That might be a good idea.
That would be a good idea.
Another person wrote, I suggest in the future 3 guys talking about grilling, cooking, and trains, or 3 guys talking about gardening and trains, or 3 guys talking about beer and trains.
I can tell you how to roast a pig.
Like I said, I think the grilling and the beer part and trains isn't bad. I don't know about the gardening. I have a black thumb. You don't want me growing.
Every time I used to try to grow tomatoes over the summer, they'd start. What do you call it? And all of a sudden they'd die. Get some kind of fungus.
After 23 years of working at a pork plant, I think I got pork covered.
Yeah, you do that.
What about standard gauge? Well, we did touch on some standard gauge. Talk about the MEW wheels and stuff. You know,
And you got your original 390 there,
384.
or 384, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, we grew up with standard gauge, and our grandfather running standard gauge all the time. So we'll do much.
Maybe
we'll
we'll
do
have
some
to
more.
display some of the stuff we have.
I think we should need some like before and after projects.
Yeah.
And here's one more. Hey guys, you feel Lionel has fixed the coupler issue? Some reviews of the milk cars are making me stay away from Lionel. Such a shame. They present poor quality.
Unfortunately, that it really wasn't on them. That was their overseas company that they get the stuff from. That was a quality issue there, but in that respect, they don't have control over some of it because some of the manufacturing plants, they will not let the company in to oversee what's going on in the plant.
Don't they send like samples to approve?
They send samples that are proofed, and not all the times do they follow the proof. When I worked for the toy company overseas, we'd go through some of this stuff, and that was why I used to go overseas. But there's a lot of times too that guys don't want to spend 6 months overseas.
Here's the rest of his question or comment. It says, I hate to be negative. Lionel is part of the American fabric. I cannot understand why they can't produce in U.S.A. I guess New Jersey is too expensive. There is so much talent here. Would bet you can staff a factory with ease.
But they do manufacture in the U.S.
Well, yeah, I mean...
Not completely, but they do.
They actually need, what do you call, more stuff. You kind of like the lion scale. It shows. They can relatively make them here in the U.S.
And that is made in the U.S.
You know, majority of it's made here in the U.S.
Yeah, but, I mean, that was... They were able to do that because they had the Weaver molds.
Exactly.
But most of the other stuff's to manufacture in China or wherever has the molds.
Once you take your molds to China, you're
done. So you can't get them back out.
So if you want to make that passenger car here in the United States, you got to start from scratch.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's expensive.
Because there's a tariff on buying any of the molds back from the Chinese
I hope
government.
if they're going to if they decide to make a new car, that they do it here versus making a new car from scratch over there.
Just some of the, what do you call it, was a real interesting thing is watching, this is, what do you call, I'm not trying to give them a plug, but a YouTube video on soundtracks. And they went through their plant and manufacture and everything, and
they're a good U.S. company.
And they're making the boards and everything here at the reasonable price, I guess, for boards. But the best part of it was the one guy there, production, saying, here's a package of decoders that are getting shipped out to Hong Kong tomorrow. That was so great to hear. We're shipping that for them to put in the trains to get shipped back.
A piece
here.
of electronics being made in the U.S., shipped to Hong Kong.
Yep.
To put in something that was going to get shipped back to here.
So it can be done, you know. I guess
part
of the problem I think with Lionel is, you know, it's not necessarily the people who own it aren't necessarily people who are passionate about the hobby. They're basically an investment corporation whose their main thing is they got to see a profit.
Yeah.
They got to see a return in their investment, whereas some of the smaller companies can afford to be more passionate, I guess, and have a different attitude towards the bottom line, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you could say, but then again, you know, we trade deals and stuff allowed our manufacturing to go elsewhere.
Well, we're not.
And you know, somewhat it is a little bit of the greed. You know, cheap. You build it cheap. You know, you're looking for that big profit margin.
There's a reason why Walmart is so big, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that does it about for this week. We had a great grass. We have a few other things we wanted to go over, but we're just kind of running out of time.
Limited us.
Time limited us.
Oh, we got it. It's almost 10 o'clock.
Yep. So let's get out of here.
Yep. All right.
Thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you'll consider subscribing, liking, or making some comments.
We hope to see you all. Walt, let's have the old toot for the good night.
All right, guys. Good night. Have a good week.